Hello friends and welcome to this session for GATE and ESC Electrical Engineering. My friend, this session is going to be one of the most awesome session and you are going to really learn something very new and something that will help you in the exam. In the exam for GATE, may it be 2021 or it may be 2022. Now, before we start the lecture, my friend, let me introduce you myself. My name is Ankit Goyal. I got AIR 1 in GATE 2014 and GATE 2018. And my friend, I was also awarded the President of India Gold Medal by the President himself in the year 2013 when I graduated from IIT Indore. Presently, I am working as a director at an academy for GATE department, and that is why constantly I am able to bring new and more initiatives for you. Because an academy is not an institute. An academy is not a coaching. An academy is more of a revolution. An academy is more of a feeling. An academy has everything right that is wrong with every other coaching institute in the country. The name An Academy, my friend, has been comprised of two words, un and academy. That means it has everything that is not there in an academy. So an academy cares about the student in the best way possible. It cares about the student most than or more than any other person can. All the initiatives are centered on the student. That is, they are always working towards the student welfare. And that is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system. That is why, my friend, you are watching this course on power system free of cost on our YouTube channel. So my friend, if you are visiting this channel for the first time, make sure that you have subscribed, because we have electrical machine, power electronics, power system, communication system, EMT, EDC, network, signal, control, digital, everything is here on this channel, that too free of cost, my friend. But what has An Academy done? An Academy has brought a revolution in the country where they are providing the most affordable education, and that too free of that too at the most affordable price, as well as free of cost on YouTube. So my friend, if you want to be a part of the revolution that An Academy has created by means of the courses that are running on An Academy, where they are bringing you the best ever educators of the country on a single platform. That is, you, my friend, can be able to learn from India's top educator at the cheapest or at the most affordable prices possible. At the most affordable prices possible. Now, my friend, I'm talking to you. You can dare to dream. You can dare to enter a PSU. You can dare to dream about MTech from an IIT. Why? Because An Academy has made it possible. An Academy has done everything that is required to get the best rank in GATE examination. So my friend, if you want to join An Academy, make sure that you use the code Ankit ESE, because the door to An Academy opens with this code, and this directly makes me your mentor, so that I can guide you at each and every step regarding your GATE preparation. And not only this, you will also get 10% discount on your subscription. Now, what does An Academy bring for you? Not only the live classes. The live classes are the best part of An Academy, where you can interact with the educator, ask your doubt, and make sure that you understand each and every concept, and then only exit the class. But other than that, you get dedicated doubt session, where you can post a pic of a question and ask any doubt, any number of doubts. Then you have weekly quizzes. Every Sunday we test how much you have understood. Then there are daily practice paper which we provide you for practice. Then there are practice questions from An Academy. Then there are test series from An Academy. Then there is crash course, where we will boost your rank in the last few months. There is rank improvement batch for the students who have already done well in the GATE examination. Now, my friend, all of this just with one subscription fees, where you don't have to pay anything again and again or anything extra. That is the magic of An Academy. Just join An Academy without thinking too much.
Hi guys, in the last lecture we saw some cases based on transient stability. So we saw what happens when the fault occurs at middle of one of the parallel transmission lines. There we tried to determine the critical clearing angle. That came out to be cos inverse Pm delta max minus delta naught minus P max 2 cos delta naught plus P max 3 cos delta max divided by P max 3 minus P max 2. Okay, this was the critical clearing angle. Here delta max was sine inverse Pm by P max 3, that is pi minus sine inverse, and delta naught was sine inverse Pm by P max 1. Okay, so these were the terms, and this is the most generic case of this transient stability analysis. Here P max 2 is called as transient stability limit, that is the maximum power transferable during the fault. P max 3 is the maximum power transferable after the fault, and P max 1 is the maximum power transferable before the fault. Then we studied another case in which the fault occurred near the bus in case of a parallel transmission line. There we determined the critical clearing angle as, we substituted P max 2 equal to 0. So delta CR was cos inverse Pm delta max minus delta naught plus P max 3 cos delta max upon P max 3. Okay, and here the critical clearing time was under root 2m delta CR minus delta naught by PS, or we can say PM. And I told you when the fault occurs in middle of the transmission line, then during the fault power transferable is non-zero, so we cannot calculate the critical clearing time, but we can only compute critical clearing angle. So in this lecture what we will do is, we will study similar cases for the case of synchronous motor and try to understand how does the stability in a synchronous motor is determined. So first let us derive the swing equation for the case of a synchronous motor. Now in synchronous motor, the developed torque is actually electrical torque T, out of which some part will be required to go to the shaft, some part will be required to overcome friction, and some part will be required to overcome inertia. Okay, the motor is developing a torque Te, and it will be delivered to the shaft. It will be able to overcome inertia as well as it will be able to overpower the friction. So we can write Te is equal to Ts plus Tj plus Tb. Okay, that means Te minus Ts will be equal to Tj plus Tb. Now as we know, for worst case analysis we will keep Tb is equal to 0. So Tj will be Te minus Ts. Now Tj is actually J d square theta by dt square is equal to electrical torque minus shaft torque. Now to convert it into electrical domain, what we will do is, theta m is equal to 2 by p theta e. So here we will get j into 2 by p d square theta e by dt square will be equal to T minus Ts. To convert torque into power, we will multiply both sides by omega Sm. So it will be J into 2 by P omega Sm d square theta E by dt square is equal to T minus Ts into omega Sm. Now omega Sm is equal to actually 2 by P into omega S. So this equation will come out to be J into 2 by P square omega S d square theta E by dt square is equal to electrical power minus shaft power. This term comes out to be m. So what do I get here is m d square theta E by dt square is equal to Pe minus Ps. Okay, so this is your swing equation for the case of synchronous motor. But here this swing equation is based in terms of theta. Theta E is the actually the rotor angle from a reference. Okay, from a fixed reference. So d square theta E by dt square actually represents rotor acceleration. But if you want to determine the equation in terms of delta, then we have to find certain relation between theta E and delta. Now if we consider the phasor diagram of a synchronous motor, what happens is this is FF, this is EMF IA, so this will be FAR. That will be opposite to the case of generator, and this will be my F resultant, this will be angle delta. So actually the rotor angle from a reference, will be equal to theta, and the rotor angle from the synchronously rotating axis will be equal to delta. So here what will happen is the relation between these two will be theta plus delta will be equal to omega s into t. How? Suppose this is my reference. This angle here is rotor angle theta. This angle is delta. And this is the synchronously rotating frame, which is omega st. Okay. Fr represent a frame which rotates at a synchronous speed. So in time t, it will travel by an angle of omega s into t. So from the figure I can say omega s into t is equal to theta e plus delta. That is omega s is equal to d theta e by dt plus d delta by dt. So d delta by dt will be equal to omega s minus omega, where omega is the rotor speed. Now if we double differentiate this equation, what we will get is d square delta by dt square minus d square theta e by dt square. So the swing equation will become, we have to change the sign on RHS, it will become same as that of a synchronous generator. Okay. So remember, the swing equation for generator and the motor remains the same. It is just that in case of generator, acceleration of the rotor is same as d square delta by dt square. But in a motor, acceleration of the rotor is negative of d square delta by dt square. Okay. So directly I cannot call d square delta by dt square as the acceleration of the machine. Okay. We have to take into consideration d square theta by dt square. So whatever derivation or whatever cases we will be considering, I will take the swing equation in terms of theta. So let us consider our first case when the shaft load on the synchronous motor is increased suddenly. The equations that I will use is m d square theta by dt square is equal to Pe minus Pm, and omega s is equal to omega plus d delta by dt, that is d delta by dt omega s minus omega. These two equations I will use, first one and the third one. Now suppose in case of a synchronous motor, this is my power angle curve and this is my shaft load. As I told you, under steady state both powers must be same because the acceleration must be 0 and speed must be constant at synchronous speed. So this will be the initial operating angle, that is delta naught. Now what happens is, Suppose the shaft load is suddenly increased. Let us say it is increased to PM1. Then this should be my new value of delta, which is delta 1. So my system must settle down to a new steady state value, that is delta 1. So PM is equal to actually PM1 and P is equal to the power at point A. So at A what is happening is mechanical power, which is equal to PM1, is actually greater than electrical power, because electrical power is this much and mechanical power is higher. So from this equation what I can say is d square theta by dt square is less than 0. Rotor decelerates, and if rotor decelerates then speed becomes less than omega s. So d delta by dt becomes greater than 0. So delta will increase, that is I will start moving from point A towards point B. Okay. So what happens when we go from point A to point B? When we are going from A to B, actually PM is greater than P. So d square theta by dt square will be less than 0. So speed will reduce. Now since it is less than synchronous speed, what will happen? D delta by dt will be greater than 0. Delta will go on increasing. When we reach point B, then what will happen? At B, electrical power and mechanical power are intersecting. So d square theta by dt square will be 0. That is speed will become constant. But since the speed was continuously decreasing from A to B, at point B the speed will definitely be less than synchronous speed. Okay. That means d delta by dt will be greater than 0 and delta will increase. So delta will increase beyond point B. So that's why I will have to move from point B to some point C. Okay. Now as we go from B to C, electrical power overtakes mechanical power. So d square theta by dt square becomes greater than 0. So speed increases. But now speed was continuously decreasing from A to B. That is, it went from 1000 rpm to let us say 500 rpm. Now it has started increasing. But until it reaches 1000 rpm, speed will be less than omega s. That means d delta by dt will be greater than 0 and delta will go on increasing. But as soon as we reach C, omega becomes equal to omega s. But still PE is greater than PM. So d square theta by dt square will be greater than 0. Omega will increase further. Now if omega increases further, it becomes greater than omega s, due to which d delta by dt becomes less than 0 and delta starts reducing. If delta starts reducing, that means we are coming back from point C to point A. So similar to the case of generator, we will have the oscillations around the new steady state value, that is delta 1. So if system is undamped, it will keep on oscillating between these two values, delta naught and delta 2, before settling down to a point delta 1. So swing of the rotor angle will be taken as delta 2 minus delta 1. Delta naught, and finally it must settle down to a value delta 1. This phenomena in case of motor is known as hunting. Why? Because the rotor is hunting for its new steady state point or new steady state value, that is delta 1. So that is the phenomena of hunting in case of synchronous motor that we have studied in machines as well. Okay. So after point C, you will again consider similar cases that you go from C to B, from B to A, and then at point A. So I would recommend you that you give it a try at your own so that you are better able to understand how does the rotor angle oscillates under faulty condition or under sudden changes or large disturbances. So this is the stability of the synchronous motor. Now, as we have seen, stability forms a critical criteria, because if stability is lost, then machine loses synchronism and thus the machines will come to a halt. None of the machines will be able to operate. Due to which we have to take care that the machines do not lose synchronism and stability is maintained at all the times. So for every system, one of the targets will be to improve the stability of the system. So now how to improve transient stability? So we know the swing equation is md square delta by dt square. Let us take the case of synchronous generator or alternator, that is equal to Pm minus Pmax sine delta. Now here improving stability implies that we have to reduce the acceleration. Why we should reduce the acceleration? Because that will help us in reducing the swing of the rotor angle and the rotor speed around the steady state value. Okay, so it will lie within a range, it will not go out of bound. Now the first way to reduce acceleration, since we know acceleration is equal to torque by inertia, is by increasing inertia. Okay, so we have to design rotors with large inertia to improve stability. But what is the problem with this step is that since inertia is increasing, machine will take a longer time to start or the load on the prime mover will be higher. So prime mover will be consuming more power to rotate the rotor at the same speed, because power is actually J into omega, sorry, T into omega. So to rotate a heavier shaft will require more torque, hence more power by the prime mover. So though it is one of the methods to improve stability, but it is not such a solid or a recommended method, as this has certain disadvantages also. Next method is called as flywheel. Now what is flywheel? Flywheel is actually connected at the shaft of a machine. So what happens is it absorbs energy. How it absorbs energy? Because when the shaft will rotate, this flywheel will also rotate. So flywheel will also attain some kinetic energy. So whatever is the energy of oscillation, some part will go to kinetic energy of the flywheel and energy of oscillations will reduce. If the energy of oscillations reduces, that means the oscillations are lesser dangerous to the system, because in any case to improve the stability we have to reduce the amplitude of oscillations. Okay, so that is other mechanical method. Now let us look at some of the electrical methods to improve stability. First is by introducing damping. How to introduce damping? As we studied in machine, by means of damper winding in salient pole. And in cylindrical rotor, what we do is there are eddy currents induced in the rotor which will themselves provide the damping. So in case of damper winding, how my swing equation will look like? M d omega by dt plus b omega plus, or we will take directly plus b omega will be equal to accelerating power. Okay, so d omega by dt, that is the acceleration, will be equal to pa minus b omega by m. So this term reduces. Since the acceleration reduces, the swing of the speed or the rotor angle around the steady state value will also reduced. Okay, next method to reduce acceleration is reduce PA. How to reduce PA? It is equal to actually shaft power minus electrical power, and we saw in case of fault electrical power reduces drastically. That is why PA becomes high. To reduce PA, what we have to do is we have to reduce the shaft input. If we reduce shaft input, then the difference between shaft power and the electrical output will reduce. How to reduce shaft input is by closing the valve of the stream or the water falling on the turbine of alternator. That way we will reduce the shaft input of the machine. The other method of reducing the PA is by increasing electrical output. How to increase electrical output? Electrical output is actually P max sine delta, where P max is equal to mod E mod V by X. So either you increase mod E, that is operate the machine at overexcited condition, or reduce X, that is by larger air gap. If your rotor and stator have larger air gap, then what happens is that due to increase in air gap, inductance will increase, or we will have the lower reactance. Why? Because leakage reactance reduces. See, what actually happens is larger air gap, reluctance is L by mu A. If air gap increases, reluctance will increase, due to which inductance, which is equal to N square by reluctance, will reduce, due to which X is which is equal to omega L will also reduce. So if reactance reduces, P max will go on increasing, due to which electrical power increases. The next method would be by using resistance grounding. As I told you, during neutral grounding, we use resistance grounding for alternators to improve stability. What happens? Suppose in case of unsymmetrical fault, we know that zero sequence current will be non-zero, which will flow through the neutral. We know IN is equal to 3 IA0, and IA0 is non-zero for grounded fault. So if you use resistance in the neutral, the power in the resistance is IN square Rn, which is equal to 9 IA naught square into Rn. So now the total electrical output of the machine will become electrical output plus neutral power, due to which electrical output increases, so PA will reduce. Earlier the only electrical power was the one going into the load, but now there are two components of the electrical power output, one going into the neutral resistance, other going into the load. So overall electrical output increases, due to which accelerating power reduces. Okay. And the last method is by using 3-pole or by using a single pole circuit breaker. What is meant by single pole circuit breaker? See, there are two type of circuit breaker: single pole, 3-pole. Now 3-pole will open circuit all the three phases, whereas single pole will open circuit only one phase. Now if all the three phases are open circuited, then the current does not flow through any phase. So electrical power becomes 0. Now if one phase, let us say A phase, is open circuited, then current IB and IC are not equal to 0. So electrical output is greater than 0. So accelerating power, which is equal to PM minus PE, will reduce, but here accelerating power which will be equal to PM, because PE is 0. So that is why to improve the stability, instead of a 3-pole circuit breaker, we must use single pole circuit breaker, so that only one phase is opened and the supply can be maintained by other two phases, due to which electrical output will increase. So now let us summarize whatever we have covered in this lecture. We first saw the swing equation of synchronous motor, which was m d square theta by dt square is equal to PE minus PM, and in delta it was m d square delta by dt square PM minus PE, same as alternator, and we saw d delta by dt was equal to omega s minus omega. But one difference that we noted in synchronous motor was, in first swing, while going from A to C, initially the speed reduced and then increased. So at B we will get minimum speed, whereas in alternator, in first swing we had the maximum speed, but in a motor, in the first swing we have minimum speed. Then we saw what happens in case of hunting, that is increasing the shaft load suddenly on the rotor of a synchronous motor. That we saw that the rotor will oscillate between point A and point C, and it will finally settle down to the new steady state value, that is at point B. And last we saw how to improve transient stability by mechanical as well as electrical method. In mechanical we looked at flywheel and larger inertia. In electrical we saw damper windings, we saw single pole circuit breakers, we saw AVR and many more methods. Okay, so this is how to increase the transient stability. And remember, stability is one of the most critical criteria in a power system. So two of the foremost criteria are cost and the stability. So this is all about transient stability. In our next lecture, we will cover some problems based on the stability analysis.
So my friend, if you want to join Unacademy, if you liked the lecture, if you like the content that you have just watched, and you have decided that Unacademy is the right place for you, and you want to learn with me, you want to learn from me, then don't hesitate, because that is where we are conducting free classes every day that will boost your GATE rank. So if you decide to take subscription, click on GATE and ESE, click on get subscription. After this, you can choose the plan that you want to opt for. The final year and dropper can take 1 year plan, second and the third year can take 2 year plan. But don't forget to use the code Ankit ESE. This will give you 10% off, as well as it will bring you under my guidance. And as you can see, the prices are really affordable, my friend. It is much less than any other institute can offer you, and that is why I keep repeating, Unacademy is not an academy. It is a revolution. It is a feeling. You can make the payment by credit, debit card, EMI, net banking. Also, EMI is available on debit card, but for HDFC debit card and Bajaj Finserv debit card. So if you are from a weak financial background, you can pay the amount in installments, but only use the code Ankit ESE. And my friend, these are some videos where I have told how to study, how to get the best rank in GATE, and these videos will really help you in cracking GATE. So make sure that you watch each and every one of them. And my friend, these are our other channels, like for mechanical we have, for civil also we have, for computer science we have for SSC, JEE, all branches, electrical, mechanical, civil. And on this channel we have the previous year question video solution, that too free of cost. And many more channels will be coming very soon for you guys. So be a part of our YouTube family, and you can take the benefit of all the free content that we are bringing. And my friend, this is my Telegram channel, where you will find the notes of each and every lecture that I take. And this is my Unacademy profile, which you can follow to watch my content for free on Unacademy, because there also I am taking regular free classes. So if you can't afford to join Unacademy, then keep associated with us, keep sharing the content that we are providing, and work towards making this YouTube family bigger and better. We'll keep bringing more and more content for you, and the only fees that you have to pay, my friend, is that you have to work hard and you have to share and like each and every video that we are uploading. So that way this family gets bigger. Even the student in a rural area can take the benefit of the free initiatives that we have started. And my friend, you also get the best rank in GATE without having to stress about how to pay. So if you can't be paying or you can't afford to pay, then make sure that you are building this YouTube family, a bigger and a better YouTube family, the biggest and the best community of all electrical engineers. So that is all from my side. See you again in the next lecture. Thank you.